Danny Byrne, Parliament Street.
Thanks very much, Chair. I'm delighted to see that there seems to be already an intervention there to slow down cyclists, because I've heard from many residents and residents living on the street that the cyclists are going way too fast on the street. They're just ploughing through. But there is now an intervention, so that's very welcome, and I hope that that will be kept up. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Councillor Connolly and Councillor Moore and Councillor Dunn. Okay, in that order.
Gurmagad Cahir, just on Parliament Street, some of the changes that have been made, I think they possibly were made to reduce the speeds of cyclists getting through, but I've heard reports that it's not working so well, that it's funneling everybody through the same small channels. So I don't know if that's a long-term plan to change it or to edit it, or if there's any review going on, because I've had emails where people are very concerned about the small channels that all the vehicles, e-scooters, bikes are being pushed through. So thanks.
Councillor Moore.
Yeah, I see that this is one of many motions and questions in the agenda this month that has received, as the report, it just says the relevant department was contacted for comment. Once received, the councillor will be updated. So it's not very easy to speak to the motion if that's the extent of the report that we have. Whatever is happening now on Parliament Street has made a complete dog's dinner of the street. And I understand the issues around kind of shared spaces and communicating to people the responsible use of shared spaces. I do not understand the rationale behind removing traffic from a street, investing a lot in how that street looks, in putting in seating, and then whatever this obstacle course that has appeared on the street now without any, that I'm aware of, prior notice to anybody. It's not apparent as a user of the street what the purpose of it is, how long it's going to be in place, what the actual intention is. It a study going on? Are we trying to, I don't understand what's happening there, and I think it looks frankly disgraceful. The city is, we have this whole series of events through July. The city looks, great at the moment in the sunshine in the summer. People are sitting outdoors. What is that all about? It's crazy looking. Thanks.
Councillor Dunn.
Yeah, Councillor Byrne obviously has influence, because if you go across to Parliament Street now, you'll see the zigzag course that has been just mentioned there by Councillor Moore. And it is a zigzag course. I was in the chamber here this morning for a House and SPC meeting, so I had a few hours to spare, and spent at least an hour sitting on Parliament Street in the nice seating, just observing what was going on. And you had the bicycles coming in and out through the ugly cones and ugly signage that says cyclists please slow down. Right? If you go further up Capel Street, there's something similar. And I'm of the view that we have to protect pedestrians. We have to, of all ages, and to encourage pedestrians to use the facility of a traffic-free street. We need to do something about bicycles going up and down, the occasionally speeding up and down, but there's bicycle traffic. And bicycles of all descriptions, including things that you could nearly call almost a motorbike. I'm suggesting that we look at this from the point of view of having it a pedestrian street, and that cyclists are asked to dismount and walk their bike through the pedestrian area. It would only add about a minute to somebody's journey, but it's the only way to make it safe. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks. Just two things. One, Carolyn, on the issue of the responses, I actually raised that with the manager before the meeting, and he'll respond to it there, because I would share your frustration. We don't have a lot of opportunities to put things down, and we should get answers in turn. I'm a daily cyclist. I hardly ever use my car, but I have to say Parliament Street has become a mess. And I think one of the real problems, and it's a problem not just in Parliament Street, is the way in which the couriers are paid. They're paid per piece, per delivery. So they are acting at incredible speeds through, pedestrianised areas, nearly knocking each other down in order to, and I think that's where we actually need legislation so that they can work safely and we can walk and cycle safely. I mean, that's where the problem is. I was in Parliament Street 2 weeks ago, sitting there reading the paper, and I mean, the amount of couriers who were just behaving in really, really dangerous behaviour was incredible. So if something has to be done, something has to be done, but I actually think the issue has to be tackled, to be honest with you, at the very core, which is how these couriers are paid to do their job. They're not paid to work safely, and I think we owe it to them to do so. So I sort of support the objective here. Manager, any manager?
Sorry, can I just say
one
thing? I just want to commend Dublin City Council, though I noticed on Facebook today they had footage of cyclist behaviour, and I'm a cyclist myself, but we do break the red lights all the time. But it was a really interesting piece of footage, very, very strong, showing exactly what's going on with cyclists and the level of lights that are being broken. And it was just a lovely way to do it as an online campaign. And I would encourage more of that, because I think it's not being documented enough for people to realise, unless you're out there on a bike or you're driving, you really see the level of, we just don't pay attention to red lights. They just go straight through them. But I think it was a really lovely thing to see, and thank you.
Let's have a look at that. Okay, manager, whichever.
We have sought a response from ENT in relation to this motion, but we don't have a detailed response as yet.
And
well, we're transportation public realm these days, but yeah, I can only add to it, maybe just to say it's not a tag project, but I think it's my understanding is it's in response to a lot of the representations that have been made about cyclists, particularly people going through on fast vehicles through the areas, to try and improve the situation, improve the behaviour of people going through, at speed and in a dangerous manner. And it's also there is an initiative to try and to improve the awareness of a lot of courier drivers and whatever to the pedestrian areas, in particular Parliament Street and Capel Street. So it's, as far as I'm aware, part of a wider initiative to improve safety, both with physical infrastructure on the ground, but also with awareness as well. So, but I think we try and get a fuller report on it, and my apologies anyway that councillors didn't get a full report on this issue. That has been brought forward as a motion. So.
Councillor Moore, Councillor Connolly.
Yeah, so is that a permanent fixture of the street now, or is somebody kind of sitting there studying the impact it's having? Is it the first step in a longer term proposal that we kind of permanently make an obstacle course of our traffic-free streets? I just wish we'd been kind of, the rationale had been, that we'd been engaged with in some way, and the rationale had been explained, because I'm having people emailing me and sending me pictures of it and going, what's the story with this? And I don't know what the story is. Presumably they're trying to slow cyclists down because that's what the signage says, but to what end, I don't, to what long-term goal, I don't know. So.
Okay, last word, Councillor Connolly.
Is it a behaviour management plan? If it's a behaviour management plan, who's the behaviour management plan for? Is it a behaviour management plan for delivery drivers? Or is it a behaviour management plan for like the scrambler bikes, people who are just going around deliberately going fast for kicks and laughs and giggles at the expense of everyone else's safety? So that's my question.
Okay, I'm going to break my own word here.
Chair,
just hold on. Danny, yeah. Councillor Courtney, and then I'll bring you in.
Okay, sorry.
Thanks very much. Sorry, I just had a quick point about this, and I understand that we're trying to keep pedestrians safe and stuff, but I think there's a very simple solution. In other countries across Europe and beyond, they don't allow the motorised, electric bikes. There's just electric bike free zones. If they're primarily the issue, then why can't we just have electric free bike zones, rather than just putting a blanket over all cyclists? Do you know what I mean? So if primarily the issue is to do with the e-bikes, then we need something there to say specifically e-bikes not allowed on this street. I'm just kind of taking in from what's been said in the chamber, but happy to be corrected. Gurmag.
Thanks, Courtney. As an e-bike user, I always go safely. Councillor Danny Byrne.
Thanks very much, Chair. I'm just looking at Parliament Street here just behind me, and I've just seen somebody there in a mobility scooter, and it's great to see somebody like that being able to use it, because they would not have heretofore when it was being used by a rally, like a rally track. I'm absolutely delighted, and it's fantastic to see an intervention to improve the behaviour. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Danny. Okay, Colin.
Just again, it's not my intervention, it's not my initiative, but I believe it is a trial. It's been done on a trial basis, and it's to try and improve the behaviours of all unsafe drivers. So not just the Uber Eats guys, the scrambler drivers, or it's just anybody that's going through too quickly through the area and in a dangerous manner. So, but we get.
Can we get an answer
report on it
from whatever the relevant section is to the points that have been raised?
Yep.
Okay, because no point in pedestrianising this if we make it awkward for people to use it. You know. Okay, motion number 10, Councillor